Welcome back to another FIFA 22 custom tactics video. Today is the 5-2-1-2 formation. This is a pro player, custom tactics and instructions for the 5-2-1-2. Probably my favourite 5 at the back formation in the game. It was really good last year and it's even better this year, so I do recommend using it. We're going to start off the custom tactics, then go on to the player instructions. Let's not waste any more time. Let's get straight in with the tactics. So defensive style, we're going to be sticking with balanced. I like using presses, but on 5 at the back formations, sometimes I prefer to use balance. Sort of depends on the one. 5-3-2 presses works well. On this one, I do prefer to use balance. That's what we're going to be sticking with. For the width, we're going to be using 40. This is because the wing backs are very wide as it is naturally. So when defending, you want to make it a bit narrow to make it easier for yourself. For the defensive depth, we're going to be using a 65. 70 and above on the defensive depth, you get an automatic offside trap. We're going to be using 65 because I don't think it's necessary for the automatic offside trap when you're playing 5 at the back. But if you feel like you want it and you feel comfortable enough going above 65, then go up to 70, maybe even 75 if you feel comfortable enough. But I recommend 65. It works well, so you're not going to concede too much, but it's still quite attacking. It's what you want to be doing with 5 at the back formations. Onto the offensive stuff. So the build-up play, I recommend using a slow build-up. It works really well with these 5 at the back formations, and it works really well in sort of formations where you're passing it around slowly, building your way up, trying to get runs in as well. You sort of get 2 types of formations in general in FIFA, quite general, but you get the formations where you pass it around sort of in diamonds, triangles, that kind of way, and sort of work your way up the pitch, which usually tends to be to go well with balanced and fast build-up. And you get the sort of formations like this one where you're sort of relying on runners, so your wing backs to make runs, your strikers to make runs, which tend to work well with long ball and slow build-up. So you get like the 4-1-2-1-2 sort of formations. If we can find the 4-1-2-1-2, it's sort of you pass it around in that diamond shape, wait for the gaps, work your way up the pitch, and unlike the 5-2-1-2, which is what this one is, where you're sort of waiting for those wing backs to make the runs up and down the pitch, which is slightly different play styles. We're using slow build up and the chance creation. We're actually going to be using balanced. Direct passing can work well in this formation. Sometimes so can forward runs, but I prefer to use balance on this 5 at the back formation. It works well because otherwise you don't want to mess up the midfield. Using direct passing and forward runs works well with the wing backs, but it sort of messes up the midfield and the strikers a bit. So we're going to be doing the runs manually with our wing backs and then leaving the chance creation unbalanced. For the width, I recommend using 100. Now I very rarely say max out a stat or like max out a thing on this, but 100 width does work really well with this formation. And I'll tell you why. Because the wing backs, you want to push them right up against the touchlines. They're on the very edge of the pitch, making the use of all of the width of the pitch. And they're pretty much the most important players on a 5 at the back formation, especially this one, where you really need to be utilising those wing backs. Right up against the touchline, making all of those runs for you and getting the crosses into the box. They're doing your defensive work and your attacking work, so you make sure you have good wing backs who are very fast and very good going forward. It's very useful for a 5 at the back formation. Players in box, we're using 6 to help push more players forward into the opposition box, but not too many that we're going to be open to a counter-attack. Corners on 3 or 2, and free kicks just matching the corners. Doesn't really matter too much what you go with for that. So for the player instructions, I recommend your strikers stay central, staying in the centre of the pitch in line with the goal and not drifting that wide, as that's the wing back's job and not your striker's job. You want them to be in the middle. Attacking runs, I recommend getting behind. And for the defensive support, I recommend just using basic defence support or just stay forward. Doesn't really matter which one. Personally, I prefer stay forward, but if you feel like you want your strikers dropping back a bit, then you go ahead and use basic defence support. It is up to you. If you want one slightly different, so one more defensive, one more attacking, you can go with that as well. But I recommend stay central, getting behind and stay forward. It's what I've been using since like FIFA 20 and it works well for me, so I'm going to stick with it. For the cam, I recommend to stay forward as well. Staying up with the strikers, staying in the cam position, helping out the strikers and not dropping back. You've already got midfielders, you've got a lot of defenders, you don't need your cam dropping back as well. You want him up there when you can make your quick counter attacks. Also, I recommend getting to the box across to once again be overloading the box as much as possible with your cam. 2 centre mids, I recommend using it cover centre on both of these. You can use cover wing if you feel like your wing backs aren't sort of managing to defend well enough as they're running up and down the pitch the whole time. But I recommend to start with cover centre, and if you need the extra help up wide, use cover wing. But it's better for them to be sticking to their positions, so cover centre on these will do. Balanced attack or stay back while attacking is up to you. If you want them to stay back and not push up, then use stay back while attacking. Even if it's just on one of them, you should probably use stay back while attacking, or you can just use balanced attack on both, depending on the situation, which will be fine as well. But the support on crosses, if you leave it on default, sometimes they'll go into the box for crosses. And if you think you have too many players in the box for cross, then you need to put that to stay on edge of box for cross, so you have more defensive help in general. That's for both your centre mids. For your 3 centre backs, always leave them default. Never change your centre backs. Never ever change them. Just don't. Pretty much is all I can say for that. For your wing backs, now these do not use stay back while attacking. Some people think 5 at the back formation should be very defensive. You want to keep everyone back. It's sort of the opposite. 5 at the back formations actually tend to be the most attacking formations in the game. Which is sort of what you learn when you get better at the game. You sort of realise 5 at the back formations, the same as in real life, are actually so much more attacking than playing a 4 at the back formation often. You can use it very defensively, but then that sort of changes the whole custom tactics and instructions. But on this video, it's more attacking / balance, so I recommend using balance attack and then just leave the rest default. Make sure your run type is on overlap with those, so making overlapping runs on the outside, which is why we're using the 100 whip, so make sure that's on overlap, and the attacking runs is on balance attack. Maybe even join the attack if you're going ultra attacking. And then lastly, for your goalkeeper, make sure you have comes and crosses on and sweeper keeper. So many people skip over the goalkeeper, but it's very important to be using comes and crosses and sweeper keeper. Makes a big difference, makes it so much easier to win the ball with your goalkeeper. And once you have the ball with your goalkeeper, you can't get tackled, so it's much safer to have it than with a defender. And you can start sort of recycle the ball and start possession again. So comes and crosses and sweeper keepers on our goalkeeper, and that's the 5-2-1-2 formation, guys. So hopefully that's helpful. If you have any comments, any questions, anything like that, leave it below in the comments and I'll answer as quickly as possible. Any video suggestions, that kind of stuff, once again down in the comments, and I'll answer and get to it as quickly as I can. But that's the 5-2-1-2, guys. So thank you for watching. Hopefully I'll see you again soon. Make sure to subscribe, it really helps me out. Have a good rest of your day. Goodbye.